Hi there, I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim, and we are
A Teague of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woo! Yay! All right. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we have a guest today. Everybody, help us welcome Cora Naylor. She is joining us from Canada. I'm hoping it's a little bit cooler up there because you're in Vancouver. Um, I'm also thinking though, with all the forest fires that they've been having in the western part of our country, you probably have some going on up there too. But Cora is going to be talking today about one of the services that she offers, which are magical manifestation circles. And we're going to talk about why and what they are and all kinds of cool stuff. So, welcome, Cora. Thanks so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Jim and Michelle. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm so excited to be here and share with you. Yeah,
Sure.
So like I said, I'm Cora Naylor. I live just outside Vancouver, and yes, there are a lot of forest fires up here right now, but fortunately it rained overnight and it's raining today.
Nice.
So I'm hoping that can calm some of it down up here because
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, especially out in Jasper, Alberta area.
Yeah. We are outside of Pittsburgh, so it's just a hot sunny day today for us.
Send some of that rain our way. We could use it.
We could
I
use
think
it.
we're just getting it for a day. Then we're back to summer, which is okay. Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I do a couple things. I do some energy healing work, and I also last year started looking for a way to create smaller communities with women, smaller groups, because I know a lot of people are still feeling disjointed and needing that extra support. And I kept telling people I wanted to start something like a mastermind, but not a mastermind. I wasn't exactly sure how that was going to turn out. And then a friend of mine suggested that I read the book, The Power of Eight by Lynn McTaggart. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but Lynn McTaggart was a investigative reporter, and she has been doing a lot of work around energy. At first, she got into it to actually see if it worked or not, because she wasn't even sure if she believed the power of energy. And so she has done all these scientific experiments around the world with thousands of people. And they've done things like changed the pH of water and grown seeds and reduced violence in cities by this collective energy power with people. And then what she did figure out is that you can do it with smaller groups. And she calls her groups Power of Eight groups. It doesn't have to necessarily be 8 people, but 8 is a lucky number, and that's why they chose that. So I read her book and thought, that sounds really cool, something I'd like to do. So I just started talking to a few people about it, and they were like, yeah, I'd like to do that. So I sort of took her idea and then created my own spin on it, because there's so much power in our energy. We have no idea what we can do with energy, and it's really fun to see the connections that can be made and the things that can happen when you work together.
Wow.
Interesting.
So how long have you been doing this for now, Cora?
The circles I just started this year. The energy work I've been doing for 3 or 4 years. I started it really as a business a couple of years ago. I mean, I never thought I would be getting into energy work. Just, like I'm a very practical person. I interested in that stuff, but I never thought I'd do it myself. A few years ago, I met a lady at a networking event in Vancouver that did the emotion code and was really intrigued by it. At the time, I had been in a car accident years ago where I got rear-ended quite badly, and I was really freaked out about driving. Every time I saw someone in my rear view mirror, I'd be like, and so I did some sessions with her and was able to release the energy around that. And so I took the course myself, but not really realizing that anybody can do this. You don't have to be a woo-woo person or anything like that. But it's what I love about energy work is that you don't have to relive the events that you've gone through to release the negative energy around it. And that's the big difference between energy work and, say, talk therapies. They're both really good and they both have their purpose, but sometimes maybe you don't remember exactly what the events were, so you can't really talk it out. You need something that can help you just release that energy without having to relive it or bring it up again.
I think that would come in very handy, especially for people who went through trauma many years ago. And like you said, they may not necessarily remember all the details at this point. And they really just want to be able to move on from it. So that sounds like it would be something that would come in handy for them.
Yeah, it is, and it's amazing, and you can use the energy work for so many things, whether it's like traumas or chronic pain. You know, how many people have you heard of that go to the doctor because there's something wrong with them, but the doctors can't find anything wrong with them?
All the
It may
time.
be that it's not even physical. It might be that it's emotional. So if you can release the emotional part of it, then your body is better able to heal itself. So maybe it is partly physical, partly emotional, but if you can at least release the emotional side of it, then you can heal your body.
Awesome. Yeah, because they're connected.
Goes back to that mind-body connection.
It really does. And I don't think everybody realizes that the body and the energy from it and your emotions and feeling, it's all interconnected.
Sure is.
And so if you've got something that is holding you back mentally or subconsciously, it's going to manifest itself in other ways within your body.
Yeah. And that's another reason that I got into the energy work is for myself. I had done a lot of things over the years. I did a lot of sort of traditional kind of jobs, but alongside that, I was in network marketing. And that's kind of what got me into the whole personal development side of things. I wasn't really, getting ahead like I wanted to. And so I knew something was inside of me. So that was my, emotional past stuff that was kind of blocking me from moving forward. And that's one of the things that energy work is really good for, because most of us, if there is a block that's stopping you from moving forward, it is something often from before we were 10 years old. And it could be either your own thing. It could be something that you absorbed while you were in vitro. And it could be even inherited stuff from your past that you've been carrying around. You didn't even have a chance to, because it's something that was in your DNA before you even came into the world. So it's really interesting.
Wow. So tell us a little bit more about the manifestation circles themselves.
Yeah.
What does it, what's the process like? How many people do you have? Things like that.
Yeah.
Are you in a circle beating drums, or what are you doing?
Yeah, no. I have a friend that does that too, but those ones are in person. Everything I do is virtual because I'm here. My husband and I are snowbirders, so we're in Vancouver for the summers, and then for the last couple of years, and we'll be doing it again this year. We're in Mexico, so it's nice to have something that we can do online. So everything I do right now is virtual. But what happens in the manifestation circles, we come in, I get 5 women to come into my groups. I just like that number because we meet once a week for an hour for 6 weeks. And what happens is you come in, I do an energy clearing just to get everybody open to the energy for giving and receiving. Because one of the things that I found out in one of my first circles was some women are not good at receiving. Even energy, because what happens is we take turns setting in intentions. So one person will set an intention, and then we do a 10-minute meditation, and then we do some sharing afterwards to see what comes up for everyone. And one of the times I had one of the ladies who could not receive the energy. She was totally blocked from even receiving that. And then it just got me doing a bit of research on that, because when you think about it, like how many women do you know? They're awesome givers, giving. But someone gives them a compliment and they just brush it off. How many times have you said, "Oh, I love that blouse that you're wearing. Oh, this whole thing, I've had it in the closet for, instead of just saying thank you and receiving. So if you can't even receive that, how can you receive something else bigger?
Yes.
And so to me, that was really interesting. So when everyone comes into the circle, I do an energy clearing just to open those channels for giving and receiving the energy. And then we do this meditation. And after we share, and what's really interesting, I always find, is that everyone sees something different. Someone sees different images or whatever happens, but oftentimes they overlap. And,
Mm.
Maybe some people are seeing colors or certain images of the person doing whatever it is that they wanted to set their intention for. And it all kind of goes together. So all of our energy is collectively working together to create whatever it is that they want to intend. And sometimes things happen right away. In one of the groups, I had a lady who wanted to set an intention to get more clients. And literally, while she was telling us that, she received an email from a previous client saying they wanted to work with her. And then
Mm.
after we did the intention, and then that week, we did the meditation, she received a download of a bunch of previous clients that she hadn't talked to for a long time. So that week, she reached out to all these people, and it just sort of set her business on fire. So it's really
Nice.
interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you said you do this for how many weeks? Are your
6
circles?
weeks. Yeah.
6 weeks. Okay. What kind of um, outcomes have your members been getting from doing this? Obviously, you just talked about the one
Just as one
person
example. Yeah.
who
Yeah.
almost immediately she got exactly what it was that she was asking for. What
Yeah.
about some of the other people? What kind of outcomes are they getting?
Yeah. Some people get something right away, and some people maybe not. There was another lady, it was really interesting. She was a realtor, and it was closer to the beginning of the year, and she had set a goal for how much real estate, like the amount of real estate that she wanted to sell for the year, which was a huge number. In my head, that's what I was thinking. Anyway, I didn't say anything. But she said that. And then she said, I think it was the next day or the day after, someone called her that wanted to buy a house and had cash in hand, and it was basically a third of her goal. And I know recently she got a listing that was for another huge amount. She's
Wow.
she's probably almost done her goal right now by now already.
Wow.
So
Wow.
stuff like that can happen. But the other interesting thing that I found was even the people who didn't get what they want, because sometimes it's a longer goal and it's not going to happen in those 6 weeks.
Mhm.
That's a
Right.
fairly short time frame. Everybody gets something they need, even if
Mhm.
they don't get what they asked for.
Mm.
And
And
what Lynn McTaggart says with manifestation, one of the really interesting things that she said with that is that if you're blocked and you're not getting what you want, the way out of it is through altruism, like helping other people get what they want. And that's why the circles are so powerful, because you are helping sending energy to other people's intentions. And by doing that is a rebound effect where you get what you want. And back to
that
the book, The Power of Eight, there's so many stories of people who are trying to heal their bodies,
Mhm.
and it wasn't working. And when they really started going around and helping other people with their healing journeys, they in turn got healed.
Interesting. Um, so do people have homework in between when you meet? For example, are they supposed to be thinking about the other people in their circle to help increase the amount of energy going to them?
We don't. I mean, I do set up a messenger group for each circle, and I
Mhm.
post to whoever's intentions, because we usually do 2 a week, so everyone
Okay.
gets 2 turns throughout the 6 weeks. And I just say, if you want to, every once in a while, just send a little bit of energy to that, but it's not a requirement. You're not supposed to overly focus on it every day, but it's just keeping that going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's something you put into the subconscious and just let it sit in there for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, whoever's intention it is has to put a little bit of action toward whatever the thing is that they
Mhm.
want. I mean, it's not like you can set an intention and then go sit on the couch and watch Netflix. You
No.
know, the universe it wants to see that you're working towards it a little bit too. Like in my circles,
Yeah.
I always say the person will read out their intention. And then at the end of it, will say, and I will do everything in my power to help this intention. So they're, taking some responsibility as well.
Yeah, I know you and I have talked about that in the past.
Yeah, we have.
That you have to be you have to know what it is that you want,
right?
Yeah,
and B, you have to have some type of action that you are taking to move closer to what it is that you want. That you're not, it's not going to do all the work for you. That the universe and you are going to meet somewhere in the middle. But you have to move forward, and you have to take some kind of action to get there.
Right.
Yeah. And be specific, right? Oftentimes people are like, oh, I just want abundance. Well, what is abundance? I mean, it's okay to say that, but what do you mean by that? Break it down. And if your intention is very large, you may have to break it down into steps. And sometimes the first intention might be, what is the first step that I need, or what is the first thing that I need to help me to reach my goal? And then some ideas might come up, or some, you might cross paths with someone that's going to have the idea that you've been looking for. Like, how that happens. Sometimes you think, man, I want to start a membership. And then all of a sudden you start meeting all these people at networking events that help coach people that have memberships.
Right. And it's amazing how that happens.
It is.
Because usually it's quickly after you put out there what it is that you're looking for, or what your intentions are, is when you will start to run into other people who have either done what it is that you want to do, or are in the process of doing what you want to do. Yeah. It's interesting how that happens.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And especially in these days when you can kind of there's no rules. I feel like for entrepreneurs, we're in the time of no rules, because, people are wanting to do things in their own way. Maybe you don't want to work full time. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to work certain days. Maybe you want to do something that no one's done before. It's okay.
Well, and like you said, you do all this virtually.
Right.
And that's another key point here, is we're in the day and age where you can do something like this.
Right. You reach anybody from anywhere.
Yes. And I think people get more concerned about the location and the people, and they keep forgetting there's a big old world out there.
The boundaries are gone.
Yes. And you're not stuck with the people who you live around. No. There's a whole bunch of people out there who can use what it is that you're doing. And
and I think you get a different energy from people who are in different areas. I know sometimes with some of the things that we do, sometimes we're working with people who are over in Europe, we're working with people who are in Africa, we're working with people who are out on the islands, we're working with people from all over the place. And the energy and the vibe that they bring to things can be very different. And sometimes that difference can really add a lot to what you're doing.
Yeah.
We found that quite often with the people from Africa that we work with.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet. I know it was fun in my last circle. I had 2 ladies from Australia. So we were doing it at 3:00 Pacific time, but they were at 7:00 the next morning. So I always feel like saying, well, what happened? Like they're time travelers or something.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They can tell you what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fascinating talking to you about all of this, Cora. And I know people are going to want to know more. So what would be the best way for somebody to get in contact with you if they had questions, if they wanted to join one of your upcoming circles? How could they best reach out to you?
I'm very active on social media, mostly on Facebook if people want to hunt me down on there, or my website, coranaylor.com. Super easy. I am very easy to find.
Excellent.
Okay. Sounds like us.
I know.
we're easier to find than that.
Yeah. And I don't have it on my website yet, but if you reach out to me on Facebook, I do have a set of manifestation affirmation cards that are digital, and or you can print them off. So that's one of the free things that I can give you. And if you go to my website, I have a little game you can play where you click on it to get a daily affirmation.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Perfect. And I know people out there, sometimes they have their own affirmations. Other times they need to be open to something that just gets sent to them, because that's what it is that they need that day. So that's perfect for a lot of people out there.
Universe giving them what they need.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Cora, for joining us today. We're glad that you could be on here. I know people are going to find this very valuable, super valuable, lots of information. If somebody out there would love to come on and be on this live and tell the world what it is that they do, and we're always open to having guests on here. So how could they reach us?
There's a multitude of ways that they can reach us.
Yes, there are.
Which one are you going to put up first? There you go. You can call us, 412-420-7975. If you do not like talking on the phone, you can text us. We will respond to your text. You can also send us an email, info@ateagueofyourown.com. You can also go to our website, ateagueofyourown.com. We try to make that easy, so it's very consistent. And then we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel. You can find these videos. You can find now, about 4 years worth of them? Something crazy.
A lot.
On our YouTube channel. If you go there, please subscribe. We would appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see everybody next week. Thanks once again, Cora, for being on here. And have a great week, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.